Hello everybody, this is Mojo. Welcome back to another video, and today's video is going to be a Slayer guide for zombies, spiders, and wolves. So, with that, let's get right into it. Alright, so I am back from the dead. I was dead for a few weeks, but I'm back with an amazing guide today. And we're just gonna go right into it. So, if you're wanting to do Slayers, this is the right video for you, because today I'm going to be going through everything you need to do, and I'll show you how to get everything. So first thing you want to do is come to the bartender here. First time you see him, he'll be standing here, but you're just going to go into his basement in a really weird way. You're just going to walk into his basement. There's going to be this guy, and there are currently 5 Slayers in the game. There might be more when you're watching this, but for right now, these are them. And so we're going to just go into all of them. So first there's this menu with all the different all these, and then there's just this thing that tells you how much combat wisdom you're getting from defeating the highest tiers of the bosses. This is random Slayers, which is a really kind of a weird feature, but it's a thing. And then auto Slayer, which you need level 6 in the first 3 Slayers, so that's zombie, spider, and wolf. Level 6 in all of those, and you'll unlock auto Slayer. So we're gonna go through zombies first, but before we do that, we're just gonna show you. Every single one has those 4 buttons here. These 4 buttons. The first one is boss leveling rewards. This will show you everything you get for leveling up into Slayer. Pretty self-explanatory. This shows you the different drops that you can get and how to get them and their chances. Then this button shows you all the different recipes for that specific Slayer. And then this button is the RNG meter. So once you slay a tier 4, it will unlock RNG meter. You can select which drop you want, and then it'll give you XP, like XP you get for leveling it up, and fill it up, and then once it gets to 100%, it'll guarantee the drop. As you can see here, as it goes up, it also increases the chance. So yeah, it's a really nice feature. So we're just gonna go through and start every single boss. The very first one is Zombie Slayer Tier 1. He's really easy. He has like 500 health, and basically all you really need to do for him is you're gonna come over here to the weaponsmith, and you're gonna buy this guy for 100 coins. Come over here, if you have 30 levels, put Smite 5 on it, and then whatever armor set you have basically will work as long as you have like any armor set. If you want fairy souls, but mostly the most important thing is the undead sword. You come to the graveyard and you kill the zombies here, and then you wait for it to spawn. Be careful if you spawn it in this this pathway here, it'll despawn. So make sure if you're about to spawn it, it'll show it on the scoreboard. You're like into the graveyard a little bit, and then you can just kill them. Obviously not with like the way I'm doing it, but yeah, you kill them, it'll spawn the boss, and then pretty easy. Just spawn a few times with the ended sword. And the next one is a tier 2. I have Glaciite written down for a tier 2. You don't need Glaciite necessarily. Like Hardened Diamond would be good. Probably that general level for it, for survivability. And then just the undead sword again. Probably want a few more enchantments like critical and execute and giant killer. More than just Smite 5 on there. For tier 2s, basically they're literally just the same thing. You just have to be careful though, because you get knocked around a lot. So tier 3s. Tier 3s are where it starts to get a little bit more difficult. What you're gonna want for tier 3s is a Revenant Falchion. You want to get yourself a Revenant Falchion, also a Smite on it, all those kinds of things, decent enchantments. Crystallized Heart's a little annoying, it's kind of expensive. Armor, Ender Armor's pretty good, Glaciite's pretty good. Alright, if you want to start getting into tier 4s are kind of a difficult jump. The bare minimum you need is a Reaper Falchion. It's really good, it gives you lots of intelligence, so it's good for the Romeo and Juliet quest as well. Another side thing as well. You can also use dragon armor, like strong. Revenants are also unique in that they have tier 5s, and no other Slayers have a tier 5. Tier 5 is a huge difficulty gap. You need to have zombie level 7 to be able to use it, to even be able to spawn it. And what you need for tier 5s is a Reaper Falchion. A good Reaper Falchion like the one that I have here. This one works really well. It's fabled 5-star, not dungeonized, but 5-star. Fully hot potato booked. And it has Smite 6. Smite 7 is only a few million coins if you can afford it. That also will really help you. Make sure you do Triple Strike and Siphon, though. You can also use an Axe to Shredded, which is obvious. But an Axe to Shredded is the best weapon for them. If you have enough money to buy one, go ahead and buy one. They're really good. And then the bare minimum you need is Shadow Assassin, Necron, or Reaper Armor also works really well. Reaper Armor with like a Warden Helm or Tarantula Helm. Also, just for you to know, Tier 5s are immune to magic and range damage. So, like, you won't be able to right-click mage it. You won't be able to use your Hyperion for Tier 5s because they'll heal. And no Juju. You have to melee it, so... And also, it throws TNT at you, so you can't just sit there and whap it like the other ones. You have to actually be moving around. I will show you, if you come down here to the crypts, right, you could kill the crypt ghouls with the Hyperion. This is the best place to kill them. So try and spawn it here, and then you can go in circles, smacking it like this, kind of. And then it'll do a lightning attack every 30 seconds, and you can hit it until you've been hitting it for like 3.5 seconds and back up, and let the lightning strike. Also, I wouldn't do Tier 5s unless it's Aatrox slashed pricing, which at the time of recording it actually is. So they're 50k during Aatrox slash pricing. Otherwise, they're about 100k, which is a lot of money that just disappears. So I would not recommend doing it out unless you're really desperate for XP or something. And think prices go down during Aatrox for Revenant. For any Slayer things during Aatrox, prices go down a little bit. So buy the items like in the middle of Aatrox. Alright, the next Slayer is Spider Slayer. Now, obviously you're going to want to be in the Spider's Den for this. Tier 1, the bare minimum you need is the Spider Sword. You can buy it from the same place you bought the Undead Sword, the Weaponsmith by the Coal Mine. Make sure you put Bane of Arthropods on it and get going. You probably want... I have Ender and Glaciite, but in reality, Glaciite, Hardened Diamond is probably enough for Tier 1 spiders. So what you're gonna do, come to the Spider's Den. There's like these spiders. You can come in this general area. There's a good area right here to kill them. And then you can just, you can kill them and spawn the boss. Tier 2, you might be able to get away with the Spider Sword, although I would recommend using a Recluse Fang, which is this guy right here. Pretty good for Tier 2s, and Tier 3s it can be good for. Although I wouldn't beef it up too much, because Scorpion Foil, the next weapon, doesn't actually use Recluse Fang in the crafting recipe, so yeah, maybe don't hot potato book it. The armor you want, you might be able to get away with Ender Armor, but I'd recommend like Dragon. Tier 3s is a nice difficulty gap there. For Tier 3s, you want like a Recluse Fang or a Scorpion Foil. Although I don't know if you'll have that recipe unlocked at the time, but you definitely want Scorpion Foil is really good for Spider Slayer. It's pretty expensive, decent amount of enchanted acacia and silk and a stick. It's really weird that it doesn't use Recluse Fang, but it's whatever really. It is a wooden sword, by the way, so you can get the thick on it with wooden singularity. It's not necessary for Tier 3s, but it will help. You can just get your average reforge on it and then put thick onto the end. Also, armor Tarantula, so like this set right here. It's a nice Tarantula set, including Tarantula helmet, which you're gonna want to get anyways because it's a really good helmet. But or if you're at that point, Shadow Assassin. For Tier 4s, you're gonna want a thick Scorpion Foil or a Flower of Truth or a Livid Dagger. That general level of weapon, and you're going to be using that. I definitely get thick on the Scorpion Foil, enchants it pretty well, hot potato book it, all that kind of stuff. If you're using a Scorpion Foil, you could use your Flower of Truth too, that works pretty well. And you're going to want full Tarantula, Shadow Assassin, or if you're really wanting to be safe, Necron. You can actually right click mage spiders, so spiders are literally really easy. But for Tier 4s, you want to come over to this cave over here. So it's to the left, and then there's a little cave. Come down here, and you can literally just do this. Wolf Slayer. Wolf Slayer is kind of wonkers. Okay, Tier 1s. So Wolf's kind of a different game. compared to the other ones. Like, it's a little different, as they all are. You're gonna want like a Raider's Axe for tier 1, because there's no wolf sword. So you're gonna want like a Raider's Axe. You might be able to get away with an AOTE, but I don't know, that general level. And Glaciite or Ender Armor, and if you really wanted to, you could do Hardened Diamond, although it'd be kind of a stretch, but you could probably do it. You're gonna come to the castle here, which is, that's the forest, so you just come up to the castle here. And you're gonna want to kill these wolves. They're pretty easy, they're 250 health. If you want, and I would definitely recommend it for early game, when you're first doing it, spawn them in this pool here. As you guys can see, this guy, it's really fast, right? Like, the Sven moves around really, really fast. So just come in the water, and make sure you have Depth Strider on whatever boots you're using. Tier 2s, you can use a Shaman Sword if you really want to grind all the way to a Shaman Sword. If you're curious, the Shaman Sword recipe is this. It's good for wolves, I would recommend, although I think you need level 3 to use it. So you might want to stick to your Raider Axe till you get level 3. Now, tier 3 wolves are really quite annoying because they're just annoying. What I would recommend is, there's 2 different variations you can go here. You can use a Flower of Truth or a Livid Dagger if you have Shadow Assassin armor. If you don't, get Mastiff and use a Shaman Sword. Those are the best ways to do it. That will get rid of the boss pretty quickly. At this point, you can go to the Howling Cave in the park. If you come here to the waterfall here, it's just through this wall. Super boom that. Or you could get the Travel Scroll. The Travel Scroll is pretty cheap. And then it's just Howling Cave right there. And then it's this little guy. It's really competitive though, so I would stick to the castle. If you have friends, trade with your friends. But, like, Slayer, trade with your friends if you can. It makes it go by a lot faster. That's tier 3s. It's a really annoying phase. During tier 3s, halfway through, it'll birth wolves. Little baby wolves will be running around the pups. And you don't have to target those pups. It is something you can do. But the boss is still vulnerable, and you can still take damage. Cleave is a great enchantment for tier 3s and tier 4s. Tier 4s, it's the same as tier 3, so it splits halfway through to the pups. And what you're going to want is a Pooch Sword. This is the Pooch Sword. That's the crafting recipe. It's 48 golden teeth on top of your Shaman Sword. So it's a good sword for tier 4s. It's kind of outdated though. Honestly, you can just use like an Emerald Blade if you have a lot of money. Or your Livid Dagger. Or a Giant Sword. If you have like those kinds of weapons, those work just as fine. Remember, you're going to want Mastiff for Necron for tier 4s. Because Mastiff is good. I mean, if you guys watched my video about how I got an Overflux, I was using Mastiff for that. I was using Mastiff and a Shaman Sword, I think, for that, which was kind of crazy that I was using that. Now I have this, but anyways, yeah, Mastiff works really well. Also, make sure you get Depth Strider and Mastiff Boots, and make sure to fight them here. Sven is really good for these guys here. These are obviously Power Orbs. I have an Overflux. The best one is Plasma Flux, but that one's really expensive. But I dropped the Overflux Capacitor at level 7. So yeah, anytime you can, upgrade your orb. They're really good. And also, if you're fighting the bosses, make sure you're using an orb. With that is going to do it for this video. This is part 1 of the Slayer Guide. If you guys enjoyed or found it at all helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe. Helps me out a lot. And also, if you want to get notified for videos faster, like the ping you just heard on Discord, you can join my Discord. It's linked in the description. Get notified faster when I upload and stream. And with that, I will see y'all next time. Bye.